Hey, Zilla. Yeah, Red, what's up? Isn't that the Rhedosaurus back there? Oh, man, I think you're right. Can we just, move along? Cause he thinks I owe money and I just don't, really got it right now. So yeah, so we could just keep going this way. Everything will be good.
Well, what up, gentlemen?
Oh, hey, Rhedosaur. How's it, how's it going?
So I seen that Godzilla movie of yours, and I sort of feel like somebody owes me some royalty fees.
Well, 1954 was a long time ago, and I'm sure that, they ripped off a lot of people. That's just how they did it back in the day.
No, pretty sure I was talking about your movie.
Oh, that one. Well, you see, there's just, they also ripped off quite a few people, so if you got a problem, you should, take it up with Roland Emmerich, please.
Well, seeing as, Roland Emmerich isn't around right now, guess you'll do.
So, can I, print check? Put it on my tab? Yeah.
That's fine. If you don't got the money right now, I'll just take your legs.
But I kinda need those to, run away.
Yo, does that every time. You got any money I could borrow?
Well, these spandex, don't have pockets.
Don't I intimidate you?
I work with an asshole all day, and this is almost refreshing being bullied instead of just, degraded all the time.
Wait. Who do you work with that's an asshole? Because the only person you really work with is me. And I totally go out of my way to help lift up your worthless behind. Yeah, I kind of see what you mean.
Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
I'm Jessica.
And today I'll be going over the Star Ace X Plus Super Vinyl series. Ray Harryhausen. Ray? I think I said whatever.
Ray.
Anyways, of the Rhedosaurus from Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. This is 32 centimeters tall. Is it really that tall? Anyways, we'll get into it. Usually when they mention that, it's usually like scale reference. I'd actually have to get a 30 centimeter X Plus to see just how close that really actually is. But this is the deluxe version, though this one specifically comes with the base. I also don't know how authentic that Ray Harryhausen autograph is on the bottom, but I digress. It's part of the 100 years. Main reason we got it is just because Beast from 20,000 Fathoms is one of my favorite, if not probably my favorite Ray Harryhausen film.
It's definitely up there.
Yeah, it's just, I always thought it was a cool monster. I like the premise, and that it kind of harkens to Godzilla, which is odd because this is before Godzilla. So I should say Godzilla should harken back to this, but this I definitely watched much later than that, to be fair. The reason we got the black and white version is because that's how I initially saw the film to begin with, too. There's a color version, which is odd because the box shows the colored version.
Yeah, I was very confused.
But it's the black and white one, so it's weird. But yeah,
maybe because the boxes were the same, and that's why it says color or mono.
Yeah, it might just, like, it says what it is here, but the box is more, I guess, multi-purpose, which I gotta say I'm not a fan of, because initially when we got this out of the package, it was super deceiving, because I was like, crap, we ordered the wrong one.
I know I didn't order the wrong one.
So, it's made in Bangladesh. Neat. But pretty much, like, the thing is, like, nothing about the box shows that it's the black and white version, or that the black and white version is a thing, other than that little text right there.
Well, there's on the Super Vinyl series, it says mono or color.
Well, that's what I said. But here it shows color.
Yeah.
Then, it's very confusing the way they have this packaging set up. But anyways, I like how you got the Ray Harryhausen here. On the back, it just tells you a bunch of stuff about the Rhedosaurus. Mentions more stuff about Ray on the back and some of the upcoming figures. And then some Liga Mumbo Jumbo on the bottom. But anyways, let's get him open up out of its cardboard prison. Alright, so now that we got the Rhedosaurus open up out of its cardboard prison, first and foremost, it is super confusing how this stand is supposed to be on here. Because it's like, its claw just kind of hangs out right above it, so it's not really scraping anything. And there's not really, like, I would say this probably makes the most sense to me. But this seems like it would take up a lot of shelf space. It doesn't really, like, I don't really like the angle. For me, I almost prefer this.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Something akin to that. Just more of like at an angle. And then you got the little display base just kind of hanging out in the front here. Nice thing is, it stands there without it.
Yeah.
Which is one thing I had kind of concerned of, but the way they got the tail kind of resting, plus there's a lot of weight towards the back, definitely helps a lot. For the display base, you get the Harryhausen 100 on the bottom here. You got the crushed car with the glasses cracking. You can see where it's kind of ripped off the frame there. Other side, more destruction. To be fair, you think there'd be more like noticeable lines here for some of the door panels and such. You can see it's there, but it almost looks like this is like one entire piece. While this side, like, there's definitely the door kind of came off, so there should be a little bit more of a telltale sign there of the lining.
I can't remember if it was a Volkswagen or.
Yeah, this kind of looks like a bug.
It's a bug, I think, possibly.
Yeah, and even like the bumper's breaking here. You got like the ground is ripped apart on the bottom here. Got the fallen over light pole. One, I guess, minor nitpick here is that I kind of wish they maybe would have did something like clear plastic over top of the light here, just to kind of give it a little bit of extra detail there. Plus, I would imagine this maybe would have cracked because of the contact it's made with all the cement crushing around it. It looks a little bit too nice and not shiny enough. And then kind of back here with the car, there's not enough separation here for the door paneling. But the ground looks really nice though. Plus, this is made out of polystone, so it's also very heavy. On the bottom here too, it tells you what what you purchased. So you have the Rhedosaurus, the deluxe version, produced with permission, Star Ace, and then just kind of hangs out with the Rhedosaurus. But anyways, for the actual Kaiju, for a closer look at its details, head sculpt is gorgeous. I will say the overall matte finish on this is still a little shiny in certain parts, like especially around the head. It's got a bit of a glisten with all the lighting here. Most of the body's pretty good, but it's just a little bit extra shiny, especially around like the jawline here. And then some sections of the tail. Not sure how well it's going to convey on the lighting. Doing a bunch of clear coating, it's going to happen, especially with a lot of the smoother edges on the scaling here. It's definitely going to show off a lot more of the finish with the light reflecting off of it. So that I can understand, but it's just something I want to point out to you guys. So if you guys get this and you're like, man, he looks kind of wet, that's the main reason. But you get his eyes, which are done in black and whites, which do have a nice shine to them as well. You got his little fangs here on the front. Also very shiny. Got a gloss finish over top of that. Oddly enough, the teeth got a really nice gloss, but the tongue's pretty matte.
Yeah, it's a little matte.
Same with the roof of the mouth. Not too much detailing there. It's more or less pretty flat, but I imagine on the stop motion, I guess puppet, for the animation that they did, I would think they wouldn't have really detailed too much of the inside of the mouth either. And then one thing I never really noticed that it has ears.
Yeah, he's had ears.
I don't know, just know if there's something I never really, I guess, picked up on when I was watching the movie. I guess this kind of gives you a reason why Godzilla maybe had ears in the originals too.
Yeah.
And he got his little snout here. Got some spikes coming along the back, which stop towards the base of the neck and then re-emerge once you get to the shoulder plate. And then go down the rest of the back to the tail. And then towards the tip of the tail, camera ever focuses, it actually elongates.
I don't know why he has those two bigger spikes. He did on the figure. I mean, like the actual puppet.
Maybe it's for like self-defense. Maybe it's for stabbing. kind of like a stegosaurus in a way. The scaling looks really nice on this too, where it's almost rock-like in a way, because for the detailing, it's not very I would say super reptilian in its appearance, but definitely a lot more like traditional dinosaur in a sense. Like you get the underplating here is very crocodilian looking, but the top section It's definitely just like hard predominant scales. Also looks like it has gills on its butt. Because there's definitely some separation there. Maybe that's kind of where it breathes. Because it's got some there too.
Maybe it's just wrinkles?
That's an odd spot for wrinkles. But maybe it's like the transition into the plating here.
Yeah.
If I had to venture a guess, that's probably what it's trying to replicate there. But it kind of reminds me of like the 2014 Godzilla gills. Because it almost has the same thing going on here at the top of the head as well. Where you get that little separation. The way the wrinkling is.
Like, I don't know how, like how the puppet, actually, all the folds and stuff, maybe.
It's also got larger scaling once you get to like the transition area to the stomach as well. Then for his claws, he's got 4 claws. Nails done very nicely. Overall, just looks like it's just pretty much gray all the time, but with a shine to it. Well, the rest of it is dark gray with light gray dry brushing over top of it to show off a lot of the extra detailing. You see the same thing on the spikes here as well. For the feet, also has 4 toes on each one. Got some copyright information on the bottom of the feet. And then for the tail, what's kind of, I guess it's not really odd, it's just the way the detailing is, but it's very gray, dark gray on the base of the stomach here. But once you get to the tail, it transitions to a very light gray. But it's just kind of the way the detailing, because that plating stops and it becomes more of that softer skin on the undersection of the tail, which is also fairly reminiscent of Godzilla there. Like, it's pretty much how they do the detailing. It's almost the same. Same with even like how the tail's fairly segmented. It's just the scale patterning is definitely a lot different than what you see on everybody's favorite King of the Monsters. This guy's give you guys a little bit of a nicer shot of the opposite side. Although very nicely detailed. And because it's a statue, you get 0 articulation as well. Hey, here's next to some Godzilla figures with the NECA Godzilla 2003. I always want to say 2002 because of the monster arts, but it's the 3 because it has this car. And the SH Monster Arts Shin Godzilla. And here's next to some rather large figures in my office with the McFarlane Toys Violeta and the deluxe Mechagodzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong, the Playmates figure. And for quick comparisons, here is next to some more classic dinosaur figures in my collection with another Star Ace X Plus, the Allosaurus from 1 million years BC? Yes. And the T-Rex from the Californication T-Rex from Reborn. Alright, so here's where I'm slightly confused. Because it says on the box he's 32 centimeters tall. This is also a 30 centimeter figure with the Titanosaurus from Godzilla, or Terra Mechagodzilla. And then we have the 25 centimeter Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Now, I imagine it's probably a scale thing, or if he was more upright, I guess it would be 32 centimeters. Yeah. But just the way he poses, I think the wording on the box again makes it a little bit deceptive. But still a cool figure, though. And for some rain comparisons, here he is next to the Jazzwares Spartan Collection Noble 6 and the Gundam Universe Charzaku 2. So overall for the Star Ace Rhedosaurus, this thing's awesome. How much did we pay for it? I don't want to hear no crying in the background.
I think it put me back a good $300 more in my credit card.
But that was like, but this is the deluxe version, so it does come with the extra parts.
Yeah, I think it was like $20 or $30 difference.
Which I don't think is that bad. Again, I kind of wish there was maybe a little bit more going on with the base. But for the most part, it's still a nice little extending piece for the figure. The only other thing was maybe like the lighthouse would have been kind of cool.
I think.
Like lighthouse pieces?
Yeah, it would have been a lot better. Honestly, if he was posed like he was attacking the lighthouse, that would have been nice too. Because that's how he was, portrayed at any other times, is usually him attacking the lighthouse.
Yeah, well, I guess this makes it a little more unique than some of the other ones. Mm-hmm. That and the other thing I like about the pose is, even without the stand, it's fairly basic. Like, it's not really like scene specific, but it still has like a nice menacing look to it, where it almost looks like it's about to attack something, or it's more rearing up.
Yeah, he's got a nice action pose, even without, like if he didn't have the, car.
Yeah, and it's got a nice flow to the figure too. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, this thing is definitely going to take up a lot of shelf space, with the way it is because it's a very elongated figure. Even with kind of working around the stand, you're going to have a pretty decent dedicated spot for this guy, which we still have to try to figure out ourselves.
Yeah.
But if you guys are into Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, this is probably one of the coolest figures that they've made for it. Because I think there's like an older X Plus.
Yeah, that's...
But this might be cheaper.
I know, right? I think the original one, that's, what, almost half the size, I think?
Yeah, it's probably going to run you about the same cost.
Yeah.
It might have gone down because this one's a thing now.
Hopefully.
But I would still say this is probably a more easily acquirable one. I don't think you have to get the deluxe, to be fair. It's cool, but it's not quite a necessity. And personally, between the pair, I still think the black and white one's the way to go. Granted, you're going to get a little more color variety out of the actual colored version, but I think this one just reminds me so much more of the movie than the actual colored variant. That this is kind of the one. And then just in terms of what I collect, I think this guy kind of stands out a little bit better, which is odd talking about a charcoal color monster compared to a lot of my other charcoal color ones. But just there usually is a lot more going on with those figures that he definitely is more unique compared to a lot of them. And to be honest, I almost kind of want to stick this guy on more of the dinosaur stuff anyways.
Yeah, I still gotta clear off the spot though.
So try that next to the con items. More than likely, I might go next to the con items. What do you guys think? If you guys picked up this figure, what's your favorite not Godzilla monster movie? Or is Allosaurus is just more to think? Please let us know in the comments. We also have a Patreon, Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. Guys, we'll keep up to date with channel donate. We greatly appreciate it. And also have an Etsy shop. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. See you guys next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.